Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Wyld. Today we are talking about, this isn't going to end well for us. Uber is testing cash rides. Drivers react. So in the gig economy, there are a few different ways that people can pay for their order, and some platforms have tested cash on delivery or cash trips. That said, however, in my mind, that's some bullshit. There's already a world of trust issues with customers and drivers alike, and not to mention the overall platform. So you're going to create a new way for gig workers not to trust their customers? That makes no sense. So with that said, we are talking about everything that is being said in this article, how it actually is for Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub drivers, their corresponding customers, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. Uber is quietly rolling out a new way to pay. Cash. The company, long associated with card-only payments, has begun letting riders hand drivers bills at the end of trips. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, quiet isn't the word I would describe these emails. Like, I still have to make a video on this, and I'm going to make a video on this, but nevertheless, the word I would choose is not quietly. So let's get that out there right now. The feature started in small places like Cincinnati and San Antonio, but has since expanded into bigger markets, including Los Angeles, San Diego, Tampa, and Jacksonville. Even smaller cities like Laredo, Texas are part of the rollout. By the way, I'm like the general Broward County area. That's a smaller market in general. Los Angeles and San Diego kind of threw a curveball at me though, because in my mind, the way that would work would evade what Prop 22 is trying to do, yeah? Like, there are minimums in place for those under Prop 22 in California, so wouldn't there be a conflict there? I feel like I have so many questions. Riders still book through the app, but instead of charging the card, they settle up with cash. Uber says the move is meant to include customers who don't have access to credit or digital payments. You mean all the customers we don't want to work with? Those kind of customers? Yeah, I thought so. Safety measures, the company adds, require drivers to verify with government ID or a third-party database, while drivers must maintain solid ratings to even receive cash requests. Drivers can also opt out, but as the rollout expands, many drivers are already voicing concerns. If their third-party database to verify their ID and everything is through something like Checker or some other background check system, that's already a low bar, and people have already expressed that. On the flip side of that, requiring riders to verify ID will probably not have those same bars that drivers have, and that's been proven time and time again. Not to mention how a lot of drivers don't like to carry cash in general. I carry a very small amount of bills on me, like just enough to make change if I absolutely have to. This is ridiculous.
Well, looky what we have here. Oh, it's behind my big head. Cash, accept cash. And wouldn't you know, by default, it's automatically turned on.
Okay, here's where things get shady. Like, why are we automatically saying we want these orders when in reality, most people would not want that? At least DoorDash was kind enough to at least say, hey, by the way, this is an option. It's not going to affect your ratings. This is an order that you can receive. You can decline risk-free for that. They're just saying we're going to leave it on by default. At least leave it off until we turn it on, right? He complains that there was no clear notification explaining how it would work, only that riders could now hand him money at the end of a trip.
I didn't get any notification. I didn't get anything on my inbox of how this is going to work, what's going to happen. So apparently now, as an Uber driver, I can pick up a kid from UM and take him over to Coconut Grove. He'll probably pay about $12. Maybe 4 of those dollars will be mine. And, he's just going to bust out 2 5s and 2 singles and say, here you go, brother. And I'm going to take the money and go, nice to know ya. But wait a minute. 8 of those dollars are Uber's and only 4 of those dollars are mine. So how does this work out?
Yeah, Uber does take a cut. So how exactly would it work out? Do they charge you even more for their cuts? I don't think that's how it works, but I do think that it's a risk I'm not willing to take and find out. So let me know in the comments if you guys got the balls for this, because I honestly don't. Here's another concern that I want to bring up. He says that they didn't notify him that this was turned on in his app. So I guess that's where people are saying, hey, this is quietly being rolled out. Why is it so loud for the customer side and so quiet for the driver's side? Why is there a difference there? Talk about a lack of consent.
Oh, well, you just got to do another ride. And maybe this one isn't a cash ride. And then, what you make on that ride, we'll just deduct those $8 you owe us. And that's the way that's going to work. It's like, oh, okay. But then my mind goes, well, what if I only do one ride? Or what if I do all cash rides? What is my Uber account going to be negative $35? And I'm sitting here with, $60 or whatever it is, $50.
Now, what I've noticed with Uber, or really what I've noticed with DoorDash, is that they'll expect you to collect a certain amount and then they'll withdraw whatever the subtotal was. So I think they do calculate for that. I do also know that they take away your ability to take these orders, or take these types of orders really, when you don't have sufficient balance. Especially with these kind of drivers out here. I don't think they want to risk putting themselves in debt for the sake of doing these orders. Also, what if they have Uber Plus and they get those payments right away? Were they going to start withdrawing from your bank account at that point? That's why I never do Uber Plus or Dasher Direct or DoorDash Crimson now. Excuse me. I know that was a big shift that I forgot about at some point. But nevertheless, that's a huge issue that I don't think that you should allow these companies to handle your money.
Also, can't even begin to think about the safety concerns I have with this. Like, now I got a target on my back because everybody on the street who's up to no good says, hey, Uber, oh, I heard they're accepting cash now. This guy, these Uber drivers are balling out of control. This guy must have $200-300 on him. Am I going to get a gun pointed at my head? Hey, your life or your cash, or your Uber cash? Oh, it's take my Uber cash. Here, take my Uber, take my car. Just leave me alone. This company doesn't care about its drivers. They don't care about you, the customer. They just are doing whatever the hell they want.
Well, first off, it's always been about making money. I don't know what's new there. Second, it's not surprising to me that they're putting drivers in danger. I mean, there's always going to be some inherent danger about it, but one of the benefits of being on Uber or being on DoorDash is that almost everything is card payment. And very rare do you see cash tips or cash payments anywhere. And there's a level of security in that alone, to where it's not like they're gonna point a gun at your head and say, give me your money. It's probably gonna be some sort of digital scam, which if you're smart enough, you could dodge without an issue. But now we got the issue that these orders can actually put a target on your back, because now there's a potential for you to have money. Is it a big target? Not really. I feel like smart drivers are still going to turn this off and keep trucking along, but I feel like there's going to be enough drivers to be like, I don't really want to get scammed by these people, but I want to make money, so I'll do whatever the company says. That's the difference between the employee mindset and the independent contractor mindset, by the way. You have choices. Start acting like you do. Commenters share their thoughts. Other drivers echoed his worries in the comments. Just checked my account and I saw it. Just toggled it off, one person wrote. Another warns drivers are going to get robbed now, even if they never accept cash, because it's implied that we have cash now. Keep those cameras on, folks. Yeah, that's another thing. Get a dash cam, get a body cam, get whatever tools you need to have that self-protection, because they were not quiet about it on the customer side, and there are going to be people that are going to be like,
Ooh, the opportunity to off a guy and take their money? Don't mind if I do.
A third added, yeah, this isn't going to end well for us. Like I said, I don't think that this is going to be as spread enough to drivers to where it's going to be a problem for delivery workers, but I do think it's going to be enough of a problem for Uber drivers to where they're letting people in their car, and it's possible that they could have something targeted at their back, you know? This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. Don't you pay me? There you go. Honestly, probably not going to end as well for us as we think. But I think that if you are selective with your orders and are not working in low quality areas, you're going to avoid most of this. Toggle it off and just keep moving along. Like, that's really all it is here. At least in my eyes. And while Uber has rolled out certain safeguards to check if customers are who they say they are, drivers are right to feel like they're about to be human ATMs instead of a card. It's a pew-pew. And it really adds on to the growing rift between customers and drivers not really being able to trust each other. I get the prospect that you don't live in fear and you should just keep moving along anyway, but you gotta be able to protect yourself and avoid certain risks that come with certain business structures. Between all of these gig companies, they really need to understand there's a significant difference in what you should be offering them to increase accessibility while also protecting the driver's security. But that's never really been a concern for the bigger tech companies. So do yourself a favor. If you're smart at all as a driver, turn this off. Like I have stated in many videos before, the content of this video is not advice of any kind, but I am saying that I am not certain that this is worth the risk, and I personally wouldn't risk it either. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe if you would like to learn more about the ins and outs of the gig economy and some of the platforms that we've discussed in the past. Make sure to check out my website, drivenwyld.com. Also, if you guys want to stay in the know on everything that is going on in the gig economy today, make sure to check out my new channel, Gone Wild Live Clips and Podcast, where Bud Soda and I take the full-length live streams and cut them down into more digestible clips. Also, check out my Patreon for exclusive clips I can't post on YouTube, full raw live stream replays, and of course, free resources for gig workers who are looking to learn more about the gig economy. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.